Hello and welcome everyone to the OVRC. Welcome to the final round of the OVRC GT3 season. I am joined once again by Ertman.
Hello everyone.
And you join us at a mildly damp Donington Park. So obviously the new DLC came out a week ago, so we get to use the new track, and it's a bit damp. It's been drying out a bit. Quickly though, before we get into qualifying, we'll quickly run over the current order in the championship.
Yep. So leading the championship right now is Mike Stoffmel with 376 points, then closely followed by Marcus Lawrence in second with 364 points. And then in third we have Jordan Grant-Smith with 312 points, followed by Thomas Olsen in fourth with 252. And then Tom Pottage is in fifth with 248. Leading the team's championship, meanwhile, is Flying Husky Motorsports with 393 points, followed by WNT Wet Sports with 386. In third, we have Virtual Drive by TX3 with 376. And then in fourth, we have PTDC Motorsports with 364 points, followed by Silver Missile Racing Team in fifth with 345 points. And as always, if you want to see the full standings, you can do so at the link in the description.
Thank you for that, Owen, as we head our way into qualifying for the final time of this season, as John Dalton, his first car out on track, followed quickly behind by his teammate. Two Lexuses go around there, currently going through Coppice. And down the back straight towards the chicane, the S's. I don't really call them S's. It's more of a chicane. It's about to be. So the track is, well, it's a bit damp. It's not as damp as we were expecting to be. I actually done some laps around here in my own time just to see how how it is, and every time I've driven so far, it's been very damp. And of course, coming to race day, it's not as damp. So, John Dalton will start his first timed lap now as he heads down towards turn 1, towards Redgate. Try and don't use too much of it. The car would be very slippery right now with the weather, as you then start heading down the Craner curves quite fast here. Possibly going to see some drivers have issues here as you then hard on the brakes for the old hairpin. And then you start climbing back up the hill underneath where the bridge used to be. If anyone remembers the old Donington, there used to be a bridge there. Into McLean's. Again, another hard brake zone here. Get the car around. Try not to go too wide as it gets quite slippery as John Dalton loses a bit of traction, does it look like. Down to Coppice, which is a sort of two corners into one. Ideal. Down the back straight. Hard on the brakes now for the chicane, which meant to avoid the tyre barrier. And will be moved out of the way, I imagine, in the race, as someone will hit it. Then hard on the brakes for the Melbourne hairpin. Quite easy to outbrake yourself as John Dalton gets around there, just about. A quick sprint up towards the final hairpin. And that is a lap of Donington of the Grand Prix layout as John Dalton crossed the line at a 1:31.0 as his teammate immediately sets a faster time.
Yep, few more people coming in. Jordan Grant-Smith taking P1 for now for 29.3. Falkenstein goes into second for now. Thomas Jensen into fourth. So Thomas Jensen showing up now for the final race of the season.
He's once again far around. Stoffmel currently showing his first time to lap right now. So really, the championship's between Stoffmel and Lawrence. There's the two championship contenders right now. Effectively, Stoffel will have to win this race, and Lawrence will have to be P3 or down, given the current standings and the drop round obviously being in account.
Robert Nygaard just went into second. He's very close to the time of Jordan Grant-Smith, less than a tenth.
As Mike Stoffel takes provisional pole with a very quick lap indeed. The track being quite dry. It's still a bit of rain going down, but the track being dry enough for a lot of people are sort of really... It's definitely not wet on the track. You can't really see any sort of obvious shine there. Some people are not even running windscreen wipers. That's how dry it is. So we can't even see. There's a second Honda on track, if you've noticed.
Yeah, whereas Lawrence, Stoffmel's championship competitor, has gone into P3 for now.
Yep, and he's already started improvement time. Followed by Grant Smith, who's also improved by half a second going down the Craner. So he's all of time to gain still.
Robert Nygaard also improving. Heading towards the final corner now. Let's see if he can overtake anyone, and he does. He moves into second.
Looks like Grant Smith, if he can keep this current time up, will be taking pole as he's 0.8 up, heading through the Melbourne hairpin. Loses a bit on exit. It's very easy to lose time there. There's a lot of very tricky corners around here, which you can make a small mistake and you lose so much momentum. He'll be crossing the line now and will move. See where it goes. Will go to provisional pole, 3/10 ahead of Stoffmel.
Yep, Marcus Lawrence also improved a bit on that lap. He was right in front of Jordan, and he is now in P3. Thomas Jensen is 6 tenths up. He is heading into the final sector. As Mark Whitford just went into P10. Draco's Pipe just went into P9. Timo Glendinho into 10th. I guess he's changed his name since last time. And Tom Jensen goes into P7. So P8 as he is immediately overtaken by Hemi Husky, which is Brian Molson, who's now in P6.
Still Timothy Glendinho on my end. On the overlay tool, he's Timo. ACC is very good when deciding which names to use.
Yeah, for me it's Timo Glendinho on both sides.
So 12 minutes left to go in qualifying as track of staying. So that's obviously the big factor, will be a bit down. It's not really affecting anything, it looks like. It's fairly dry. If anything. A few cars on outlaps right now. After doing a pit stop to obviously change any setup changes, change the tyres, just refresh as Timothy Glendinho will cross the line and goes P6. As we are a lot of drivers now down into the 29s, which when I was on practice, no one was down that low.
Thomas Jensen going around the final corner, he could take provisional pole on this lap, and he does.
You just noticed that just now. I completely missed that. So yes, he will take provisional pole for now. Thomas Olsen went through and bought his laps. I imagine he got a cut track through there, as he was 3 tenths up.
With Nygaard 3 tenths up right now. He's currently in P6. Heading into the final sector. John Dalton is also 4 tenths up in P10. And also currently heading into the final sector. So they're both going to be completing their laps very soon. And possibly moving up the standings. Robert goes around the final corner now. And loses some of his improvement through there. So it looks like he stays in P6. I think that lap got invalidated actually. John Dalton will be next to cross the line. And he moves into P5.
Mike Stuffball on half a second improvement right now. It's got a bit of traffic, but it does seem that car is pulling off to one side to let Stuffmill through. But if his lap keeps going as planned, it will be provisional pole for him as we go under the 10-minute mark. Ooh, McLaren just there in the middle of the road. They seem to spun at some point.
His rival Marcus Lawrence is a bit further behind on the track. And he is also improving right now, 6 tenths up.
I can't see any rain at all now.
Mike Stoffmill takes P1. See what Marcus Lawrence has to say about that.
One more corner now for Marcus Lawrence to navigate as he's a second up. So looking like these dry air conditions really are proving favours for the top 2 as he will select provisional pole now. But when Nygaard improves last lap.
Yep, so the game is also saying it's clear now.
The track.
So
the track is dry. Should everyone be on slick tyres?
nice improvement for Ryan Mawson right now as he is about to cross the line and he moves into P6. Few more people on improvement right now. Mike Stoffmill heads into the final corner but loses his improvement there.
Robert Nygaard's oh, he's at the grass. That's why he's improving so much. So currently Mark Whitford's on pole. So he managed to jump.
Oh, how did that sneak us by?
We're really not paying us attention on who getting pole. Thomas Olsen's currently improving by 7 tenths now as the times will be starting to tumble down if the track is dry. I imagine we set this to have a chance of rain. And all through the practice sessions, rain, 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 rain. Race day comes. How about a clear track for you? No rain. Not a splash. Track is dry as Thomas Olsen across the line and moves up to provisional pole. This might be quite interesting now because it's somewhat of a rush. I want to get out on track as quick as possible. Grant Smith has someone blocking into the final corner. Just going to hamper his lap out. He was half a second up. He still goes pole with that. Mike Stoffmill gone off the track. He skips chicane, so he's inverted his lap. It's getting a bit interesting now. I think
lots of big improvements right now as the track has cleared.
I think everyone's suddenly realized, oh, it's clear now. I better bolt on some slick tyres. I don't know if you can see what's going to happen on the next day. I mean, it would be quite funny if it was raining. You know, because this would be the qualifying would be completely useless at that point. Because it's not representative at all what's going to happen in the race. We'll see. Silverstone was dry during qualifying. rain at the beginning of the race did cause a bit of issues with some drivers, so maybe it'll happen
seeing
again.
lots of improvements in the midfield right now. Benjamin Kerbel just moved up to P9.
Yeah, Mawson's currently improving as well by half a second. Starship's improving, Glenning's improving, Devonshire's improving, Williett's improving, Webb's improving. Scott Sovic moves to P9. Just all starting to happen now.
Donington Modiet is about to cross the line. He's currently in P19, but improves by over a second to P10.
Jansen a bit of improvement right now as well.
Yep, just a small improvement so far. As he is about halfway through the lap. Thomas Olsen currently in P1 and is on another improvement. 2 tenths up so far.
Olsen currently improving again, so he's snagged pole back. Again, we missed. I feel saying that small difference of times kind of thing, that towards the end we just don't notice it because it's not a big green number. So
maybe I think it's just people from kind of the middle, from the midfield, suddenly moving up to the top. So our eyes aren't drawn to us as much as people who are further up the order. At least when we're looking at the timings on our side, on the broadcast tool. Ryan Molson just moved out to P1. Marcus Lawrence 4 tenths up right now.
The track is getting quicker. It's getting quicker all the time, it feels like. A bunch of people are still improving right now. Got 3 minutes to go.
Like, Marcus Lawrence should be able to take possession of pole if he gets this last corner right. And it looks like he has. So he will cross the line and move up to P1. Thomas Olsen 3 tenths up right now. Mark Whitford 8 tenths up. Mike Stoffmills just started another lap. Thomas Olsen about to cross the line, could be taking P1 here. No, he takes P2.
Just misses out a tiny bit there.
Nygaard half a second up.
Grant Smith chops his nose off a tiny bit. He loses a bit of time, has to stamp on the brakes a bit. So Mike Stoffmiller, who started off this race week in the strong position due to the weather, it's a bit on the back foot now.
Yeah, he is currently improving, 3 tenths up as he is about halfway through the lap. So he still has a chance. But he needs to get this final sector right. Michael Stasif just took 7th, ahead of Max Stoffmill for now. Stoffmill half a second up.
Yep. One more corner to go, and hopefully this car ahead is not going to be an issue. Shouldn't be that clearly up ahead.
Looks like Mike could be taking pole here, and he does take provisional pole. Mark Whitford could change that though, as he heads around the final corner. Thomas Johnson just slid into 5th. Mark Whitford crossed the line, takes P1.
His teammates also going to cross the line now, and they're going to move up to P9. And Mawson. Anthony Bird improving as well. Kurt was improving. Falkenstein's improving. Wolf's improving. Victor Berlin. Mavra was improving until just now. See how the results go. There's under 30 seconds left, so checkered flag will be out very shortly. Current standings be the first one of the times where Mawson's out-qualified his teammate, I think, this season. But Thomas Janssen improving, Grant Smith improving, Mawson improving, right, Stoffmill is there.
Not improving.
It's not losing time, at least. Got a car up ahead, though.
Yep, as the checkered flag will drop now. The current laps will be the final chance. Mike Stoffmill will not take pole position. And Ryan Mawson moves into P2, overtakes Stoffmill. Thomas Janssen goes around the final corner. And looks like he will not be improving.
A lot of people are aborting their laps now.
Yep, lots of people in the pits as well. Michael Stasif still going round, currently in P8, but he's not improving so far. And the improvement I'm seeing is from Valko von Valkenstein, who is currently in P16. Looks like he might be able to gain a few positions on this lap. Valko has tried the final corner, half a second up so far. And he's lost his improvement there. Maybe the session just ended before he was able to cross the line.
I think he just crossed the line. He was the last car to cross. The start-finish line is quite early as we jump into the race session, and it's wet.
It is wet. It is 20% wet.
%20 wet. So the cars will be getting ready to start soon.
The weather predictions say it's going to keep raining for at least another 30 minutes. Looks like it will get lighter though, towards the 30-minute mark.
Quite interesting to see. Obviously, 30 minutes roughly where the tyres will be changed, so interesting to see. People might try to hold on to the tyres a bit longer, wait for it properly dry, and then belt some slicks on. Or people just do it in the middle and hope it stays wet enough to make wet tyres work. We will see. We'll find out. So we've got 40 seconds until the cars will begin to roll.
Mark Whitford will be starting from P1, followed by Hemi Husky. And then we've got our championship rivals, Mike Stoffmill and Marcus Lawrence, side by side on the second row.
Yep. That's the current top 24 cars on your screen right now. As the cars will be soon beginning to start moving down the grid. So Whitford on pole, followed by Mawson, Stoffmill, Lawrence to the next row behind them, Olsen and Janssen on the third row, Grant Smith, Stasif on the row behind them, and Dalton Nygaard the top 10. As we join us now at a properly damp Donington Park.
Yeah, it's not raining extremely hard, but the track is looking pretty greasy.
Yeah, might be a few little puddles here and there which will catch people out. And obviously it does mean that qualifying will be a bit invalidated. Obviously it's quite hard to overtake around here, but I believe some cars are quicker than others when it comes to the things. They're all sort of bunched together. Behind there, that's not really sure what's going on. Question mark? It's not happened, I think.
Just noticed Victor Berlin is in the pit lane.
Yeah.
So he will presumably be starting from the pits.
I guess so.
As
Everyone starts
the
to go
grid
on.
has arrived at the final corner.
Yeah, it's not quite in order though. Not sure what's going quite on here. As there's green flags and not everyone's in breathing position, but we are going racing as the top four all together right now. Whitford has now already dropped down to P2 behind Orson. Okay, what happened as Mark Whitford makes a little lunge there onto Mawson. A bit of a dry line as Stoffman's looking down the inside to make a move right now. I think that some cars are struggling a bit in the conditions as there's a big gap now behind Sovex. He must have gone on in the back there. Grant Smith's looking down the inside at Thomas Janssen now into the Melbourne hairpin. Has to back out a bit. Car behind Falkenstein is 4 seconds back now. In the top
Michael Stasif heads into the pit lane. I'm not sure what's going on with him. He doesn't seem to have any damage on his car.
Ooh, Grant Smith
Maybe
out
he started on the wrong tires.
Grant Smith out a bit wide there. I'll try and make a move onto Janssen, and that's sort of can't really make the move right now in the crane curves, especially in these treacherous conditions, as there's another yellow flag out somewhere on track. Not entirely sure where. Some drivers are definitely struggling more in the wet than others. As Lawrence is now under threat from Olsen behind. Bentley was a car which was struggling quite a bit in these conditions as he took a big old slide through the chicane. Have to be defensive now as the track is green. There definitely is some gaps starting to form, but a big sort of train forming behind Jansen right now. With Dalton, Grant Smith, Nygaard, Kerbal, also Flag, Lenningen and Sovek all down there.
Michael Stasev is out of the pits. And he has changed tires. So maybe he started on the slicks and decided to go to wets. You see Gladdening goes down the inside of Kerbal. And Scott Sovik might be getting past Kerbal as well.
He's going to go very straight, but he's going to have the outside line into the... Ooh, slips in front of him. I don't know if that's a deliberate slide up or just... Ooh, Glenning loses it on exit there. It does seem that the slippery conditions are being a bit more tricky right now as he's going to be under threat by Kerbal, who's going to try and go around the outside. You can't really do that around there. Very easy just to get a better line from the inside. And start to see somewhat of a dry line begin to form. The midfield Devonshire is under threat. Oh, trying to take Murray, it looks like. Just has to get around that long side, and that allows the Adam Wolf to come back now. Definitely, these tricky conditions are making it a lot harder to make the overtakes. Obviously, got to overtake, got to go in the wet line. It does make the frame curve a bit leery. So as Van Muk goes very deep there, goes onto the Astro and loses a bunch of positions and traction and time and just about everything you could have as he goes down to P19.
John Dalton is also really close to the back of Thomas Jansen. Might be making a move here. No, decides not to do it, but he's getting closer and closer.
Oh yeah, gets slow.
Jansen's slow out of there.
That's looking like everyone's trying to go through now. Jensen takes the door right, everyone down the inside. They have to go the long way around. He's now built traction now, and the Bentley lacks traction around here. Does look like he will lose a position as Lawrence is down to P5, so Olsen's got ahead of him. Definitely looks like the two Bentleys are definitely struggling. Yep.
Jansen losing 2 positions there. Getting passed by both John Dalton and Jordan Grant Smith.
In the fight for P15 right now is Devonshire and Wolf, so going alongside each other, but back to back right now. As Devonshire goes deep down at the old hairpin, allows Wolf to go around the outside there and makes the move happen. As Webb's also going on to drag us by just behind, but thinks against that. Mark Whitford's right behind Mike Stoffmore right now. He's going to try and make a move happen now. Stockmore takes the defensive line. Goes around a long way. Will be so hard to get the long way around that. Around the corner now. Just make a little bit of a cutback happen. Can't really make it work. As Mawson is somewhat making a bit of a lead for himself right now.
Charles Smith going down the inside of Dalton.
He did it last time, he got forced into the grass. Sides against it for now. It's not exactly an easy place to do a toe take down in the trainer. I've tried it a few times in another sim and ended up in a wall. Let's just say that. So I've experienced that, and yeah, you don't want to. It's not the best one, especially when it's raining. Now, what the rain has obviously done is it's made the gaps sort of grow quite a bit bigger, because obviously you're not just you're quite car dependent, obviously setup dependent, and driver dependent. Obviously, it's a lot harder to follow someone when it's wet. Can't quite overtake them as easy as the tyre bundle has been moved out the way. I've noticed that at the chicane, it's no longer in the correct spot. So, well, the plus side is nothing to hit. The negative is that some people's turn-in point might be gone. And moved a bit out of the way. So after that, a lunge by Whitford, doesn't he? Sophomores got a bit of a gap now to Whitford for the fight for P. Who? The ball from the Lawrence, though, I don't think he's quite far enough back to. He's not out of contention just yet. He's still just there for now. Thomas Jansson's now got Robert Nygaard behind him, so again, still struggling a bit right now in that Bentley, his also favourite Bentley, which he's won many races with. Somewhat not being the best car right now. Obviously, what he's comfortable in, and let's see how he deals with Robert Nygaard behind. Just in the car this weekend and stuff, the Mercedes seems very strong this time around. There's the Lexus as well.
Yeah, there's quite a big gap between Ryan Mawson and Mike Stoffmill right now.
Amelia has got past Carla, it looks like, is now on the attack of Dragos Vibe, so he lost a few positions quite early on. As Victor Berlin is still in the pit. Well, he's 2 laps down now. I'm not quite sure what quite happened there. Starsiv obviously has pitted, so he doesn't need to pit again. Now it's a question of, does he want to go to the end on that tyres or not? As Amelia has to go defensive now on the Ferrari. I believe that is. That might be Victor Berlin unlapping himself. That is Victor Berlin unlapping himself in number 13. So we're right on board with the back of Mike Stoffmer, who has Mark Whitford right behind him once again. Right, Robert Nygaard's got past Janssen now, and Sovic's now behind him. Gatler, Mawson's just pulling away right now. He's got the advantage right now. There's no one fighting with. He can just focus on sticking to his lines and getting some lap times out in these tricky conditions.
Still some remarkable pace. He's the only one in the 32s right now. He's doing today 32.3 last lap. Well, the people behind him are all doing 33s.
So he's got very good pace right now in that Mercedes. After early on in practice, he didn't really look like he was a top contender, to be honest. He sort of was in this sort of normal spot. Qualifying happened in the changeable conditions, and I'm still not entirely sure what what we can take from that qualifying session. But now in the race, he's got the lead, and he is bolted. So yeah, maybe he did deserve that top spot he had, well, front row anyway, as once again under threat from Whitford, who is quite close behind.
Is that the tire just sitting in the middle of the road there, or that's something else?
On my end, it's sort of pumped to one side. I don't think it's in the way as such. As also trying to go at Thomas Jansen right now through the final corner. Can't really make anything happen. Jansen definitely lacking some pace. Got most of angling him behind. So on lap 9, it's quite a quick lap round here actually. It's a lot feels a lot quicker than it was at Imola.
Yeah. Still got Whitford close behind Stoffmount. We've still got Grant Smith close behind Dalton. So both the Lexus teammates are fighting right now.
And from what you can see from the helicopter cam is you can see the dry line forming a lot clearer from looking from a top perspective in some of these corners where the light shines on it. And that's all where the drivers are trying to stick to right now. Now, I don't know how the tyres work in ACC, but I know for a fact in real life they told someone had to dart for the wet patches to cool the tyres down. Obviously that is an issue if you're on wet tyres and go into a dryish line, you're going to overheat them. So, no one seems to be really doing that, so I don't suppose much of an issue. At least not right now, anyway, as it's very close to the back of Sovic down the Carrera curves. And it's quite hard to make an overtake there because it's not a very safe way of doing it. Unless you want to go the old BTCC route of poking your nose where it probably shouldn't be, as it's getting right behind Jansen now. And was looking for a gap there, quite possibly found a gap. It's also opened himself up to Groningen as well, so Groningen's going to try and make a move now as well around side as Sovic clips and then spins, and that was an interesting incident.
At least that tire barrier is out of the way now.
We had the stream back, and I'm surprised that Jansen didn't get sent to the Shadow Realm, honestly. After seeing the quick watch back on the stream.
Yeah, also just looking at the stream, the tire barrier that's come loose is in a different position for me than it was for you. For me, it was actually in the middle of the road and just got knocked off by Scott Sovic.
Sebastian Bruno is currently behind Kerbal right now. He's getting a few positives, making his way back up the order. And right now, as there's a yellow flag out on track, entirely sure who that would be. The one thing that all that incident has made is means that Thomas Janssen, it's a bit more of a gap now. He's got a bit more comfortable gap now as Grant Smith is very close to the back of John Dalton, and he has passed John Dalton. I didn't realise he did that, but yes, he has passed him now, finally. That means that Grant Smith can stretch his leg, quite possibly, if he can get away from John Dalton. There's another yellow flag out. Quite sure
And
where.
Phil Webb is off the road. He seems to have parked it there. Looks like he might be trying to get back onto the track, but there's a lot of people that need to get by first.
The issue for him right now is the field is quite spread out now due to the conditions. So it's going to be quite hard to find a proper clean gap. Whereas conventionally you have a pack of cars which will blast through.
Yeah. And he has made his way back on the track now. That is that yellow flag cleared.
Just Mulliot's moved down. Oh, quite far down now.
Mark Whitford's lost some time to Mike Stoffmill.
I don't think it would be too much. As there are some little traffic right now. Traffic this early on in the race probably caused a lot by people obviously spinning out on the damp surface. The track is still the same sort of condition it was when we started. Obviously, there's a bit more of a dry line now. Damien Lowe is now ahead of Stoffmill right now, so we're going to bank out of the way into the final corner. He does so. Does allow the fight for P2 to get past. This is a Ferrari in the pit lane. Quite sure.
Yeah, that is Phil Webb, who was off the track earlier. And it looks like the rain should be getting lighter right about now, but it's not going to stop raining.
Let's see what will happen. Will we get another dryish track towards the end? Will people have to change tyre strategies? I'm quite sure yet, as Whitford's got right up behind Stoffmill once again. Sebastian's also right behind Kerbal now as well, so we're starting to close some gaps up once again. Some people are a bit out of position where they would normally be. Ooh, Stoffmill. Oh, no, no, no. That's not Stoffmill around. That's power slide there by Mark because he gets away again. That means Olsen is now inherited to P2, Stoffmill P3, and Lawrence is now right behind everyone. So that is
just looking back at the replay of that, it seems like Mark may have slightly outbroke himself or something, and anyway, whatever caused that, he hit the back of Mike Stoffmill.
Sebastian Bruno has got past Herbal. He moves up to P13.
Now this has got Marcus Lawrence right behind these two. So that could be interesting. Of course, depends if he can keep up with them.
As Grant Smith has fallen behind Dalton again. Grant Smith must have had a... Well, he also had something happen. He's lost 6 seconds this lap. So he's
he's lost a lot of time, so obviously he's had some kind of mistake or incident.
In the trick, this is probably catching some people out. I think it's not just catching people out, it's just other drivers as well who will get caught out already are sort of... As a... Oh, Jordan dives into the pit lane. He's got front end damage. So he's obviously hit something, so he's pitting now. It'll be interesting to see what he will do with tyres. Now, we can't see what tyres he will have on his car because we don't have that information. It's not sent to us.
Timothy Gladdening is also into the pits.
Again, with the possible changeable conditions of the weather, you know, less rain later, do I want to risk pitting now? I think it's dry enough towards the end. You might want to stick on some slicks.
I'm not sure we'll ever get that far, because the rain looks like it is getting lighter and is predicted to get lighter, but it's not going to stop. And the track is pretty greasy, so I'm not sure we'll ever get to the point where slicks would be a good option. As both Jordan Goldsmith and Timothy Gladdening are back out on track. They have indeed changed tires.
Waiting that. Oh, Marcus Lawrence in the pit lane now, so another pit stop. We've got hit the 34-minute mark, so people pitting earlier than expecting, really.
Benjamin Corbell is also into the pits. As Marcus Lawrence gets back underway again.
Quite a quick pit stop round here, quite a short pit lane actually.
Yeah, so he's off the limiter now, and he has dropped down to P16.
They're right behind Stockmill right now, so these two are once again stuck together. Stockmill's in the pit lane now. That means that, for all intents and purposes, everyone's somewhat on their own right now.
Yep, Benjamin Corbell's back out in P20, as indeed Stoffmill is in. Thomas Jansen is also into the pits. I'm gonna keep an eye on Stoffmill, see where he ends up as he gets back underway again. Where is Marcus Lawrence? Stoffmel's back up to speed and he's right in front of Marcus Lawrence.
He's losing some time there as Mawson is nearly behind Grant Smith now, so he might be lapping people. It's 30 minutes into the race. Obviously,
Thomas Jensen gets back underway and he's dropped down to P18. Like he's behind Jordan Grant Smith. Thomas Olsen is into the pits.
I see a few more people in the pit lane now. Stuff now. Just ahead of Lawrence, as you have just said.
Valko van Valkenstein is also into the pits now. And Thomas Olsen is getting back underway. Let's see where he will rejoin.
I'll come Stockmore through the start-finish straight now.
So Olsen rejoins in P11.
Very ahead of Stockmore.
And he is behind.
Behind Muller right now on track.
Yes. Very good, confused for a second there. Ryan Wilson is into the pits.
That's the leader.
The leader is pitting now.
So you're going to say it like 5 times now. The leader's pitting now. The leader's pitting.
The leader is pitting now. The leader is pitting now.
Sorry, I can't hear you. So about halfway through the race, obviously people are thinking that it's probably just best to pit now and get some fresh 50-50 of the race. 2 Lycan cars are together. Random fact about these 2 cars, they're quite similar liveries, as you can tell. And Pro dragged us by last week, hit one of them, let it through, but let the wrong car through. Thinking it was, I think it was like the 42. He hit the 42, 40 let it through, but let the 62 through, and not the 42. So he could.
Brian Mawson is back underway. He's in P6, right behind Sebastian Burnier. She immediately seems to want to go side by side with Sebastian Burnier. As Joshua Devonshire is also into the pits.
Ooh, a bit wide,
so Burnier goes off the road, gets overtaken.
Gets Peter Berlin through as well, who's trying to unlap himself.
Yep. So Sebastian runs wide again.
And loops it.
Maybe time for a tire change for him.
Just hit. That car isn't going forwards. Maybe put him in reverse gear.
Slowly inching forwards. And he is back on track, but he has dropped all the way down to P12.
Good news for him, some of those drivers will be obviously the top runners anyway, which are pitted. So, as Mark Whitford is lapping one of the chrome Ferraris. He's currently our current leader, 10 seconds ahead of his teammate. But right now, with how it finishes, I believe, unless Stoffel can get ahead of Olsen and someone can get ahead of Lawrence, it will be Lawrence will take the championship. So, like
more people into the pit lane. Adam Carlisle, Adam Wolf, Vanton Molliet, and Zed Murray are all into the pits. Mark Whitford is into the pit lane.
See where he will end up with the rest of the cars. In theory, he should slot in behind Stoffmill. Will it be ahead of Lawrence or not?
John Dalton is also into the pits. Stopping right in front of Mark. And oh, looks like he just had to reverse there. Maybe missed his box slightly. That's what have cost him a few seconds.
Victor Berlin is also pitting now. Which leaves Sebastian Brunier, Nygaard and Sovic have yet to pit.
Mark Whitford gets back underway.
Here comes...
And will rejoin
alongside...
right in front of Mike Stoffmill.
Not what Stoffmill would have wanted. He kind of wants these two cars out of the way. But let's see what happens now. So he's still got 26 minutes to go. One important thing for, well, a race leader is the gap is now extended to 15 seconds.
John Dalton slots into 9th position in between Sebastian Brunier and Jordan Grant-Smith.
Olsen diving down the inside very quickly, so maybe he's trying to cool his tyres down a bit. More water on them, as the track is still fairly damp.
Robert Nygaard is into the pit lane now. Scott Sovic into the pits as well. So that will be almost everyone stopped. Only Sebastian Brunier yet to make his stop.
So the fight for P3 right now, or P2. So Lawrence's.
Robert Nygaard rejoins in P6. Quite a way behind Marcus Lawrence. Scott Sovic gets back on the way also. Sebastian Brunier has just entered the pits. Scott Sovic will rejoin in P12.
Right, aggressive defending coming on from Mark Whitford right now after he makes a bit of a slide in the old hairpin. Stoffmill tried to go around the outside, but didn't quite make it happen without, losing traction himself. And also heading into the grass. So he's behind.
Sebastian Brunier gets back underway. It looks like he will rejoin in P19 behind Valentin Molliet.
That spin was quite costly for his position. Dalton within a second of Grant Smith right now. Two minutes to go as the gap between Whitford and Olsen's also closed up as well. Olsen is struggling a bit for pace now as well, and his Aston Martin in the ice cream car. Oh,
Looks like he's going to be overtaken by Whitford. And they're still side by side. Olsen trying to defend on the inside. And does so. Stuffmill maybe looking to get involved as well. Could give him an opportunity to make a run on Whitford.
Lawrence is struggling to keep quite up with these three. He's slowly dropping back. At least what fighting will possibly bring him back into contention once again. And ooh, a bit of a touch there. And Olsen a bit offline. Does regain control and stays ahead. Very deep through Coppice there. People are doing quite different lines right now. Don't know how through the chicane.
Looks like Stuffmill could be having a go of Whitford here. Not quite.
Test defensive line there. I wonder if that will be reactionary driving, because it looks fairly reactionary from here. But obviously we'll have to take that's an issue for Stuffmill. You can report that. As on the back marker gets on the gravel there at the old hairpin. It's quite an interesting fight, but it's going to be quite hard to overtake. Just due to the nature of really the track. I do wonder if the it'd be a lot easier to overtake if we weren't taking the Melbourne hairpin. We just took the national there, as it's called. Still 18 minutes to go as let's go around the outside, maybe make a cut back now. There's a better run through there. This is allowing Olsen to get away a bit. So midfield getting quite interesting with Wolf and Kerbal. That are all closing together up.
More traffic there.
A bit of traffic just getting pulled out of the way there, down the straight.
Still looking for opportunities, but struggling to find them.
Nygaard's dropped down a few positions. Lost position to Donington anyway. A very slow lap, whatever's going on. He has Stasov just ahead of him. Still not ahead of him, behind him.
Yep, Scar looks fine. Doesn't seem to be any damage. I think he's just gone out or something earlier on in the lap.
Well, there's a bit in the fight. E14. Devonshire goes past. I believe that's Carlisle there. Not long ago. I don't know. That must be Wolf there. I don't know. Wolf overtakes Kerbal, then loses it, and then loses it to Devonshire. He now moves. So that order's all reshuffled up. After right behind Nygaard now after a mistake.
Yep. So we have under 15 minutes left in the race now. So we are getting into that final phase as Mark Stoffel goes down the inside of Mark Whitford. And he moves up to P3. So Whitford might be having to go at a mirror.
The
Looks
inside
like his car's maybe a little bit slidey through that corner.
Stoffel will have the inside line now in chicane. But if we just get a slightly better run through it. Well, he attempts to make a dive now, and he doesn't, and it will stay behind. Possibly a little mistake there by Whitford allowing Stoffel to get past. Now Stoffel's next target will be always trying to get to Olsen's car just up the road. CPR trying to cool the tyres off a tiny bit. The gap for Olsen to the leader of Mawson is 18.9 seconds.
Yep, Mawson absolutely dominating this race.
On to a 31 at one point. The other driver to do that is Grant Smith down on P6. He was like 15 seconds behind the behind Lawrence there, so. Quite comfortable out there right now. He's lapping some cars. And speaking of cars which Mawson's approaching Kerbal and Devonshire, who are currently in a little fight of their own. Into Walker's dropped off a tad. Good news for Mawson, he doesn't panic too much right now. He's got such a big gap behind that he can lose a bit of time, but not too much, you know. Can't lose a second or two, he's just got to be a bit careful. Doesn't have to, you know, drive like an LP1 drive and sort of like, oh, a gap. And this is my gap now. You know, take a bit of time. He doesn't want to let him go as ooh, that little move there might have caused contact between Kerbal and Devonshire. Kerbal trying to go for a little gap created by Mawson getting past Devonshire. And it has allowed both the blue Aston to get ahead of Kerbal. Nygaard's closed the gap on to John Dalton.
Ooh, there's a McLaren in between Whitford and Stoffmill, who had spun around
Sebastian.
and hit one of the other cars. Yeah, I assume that was Sebastian Brunier. Another car collided with him as well, but I don't know who it was. May have been either Whitford or Stoffmill's lost a lot of time this lap as well. Everyone's losing time, so I don't know.
I think whatever happened, that timing is sort of allowed Whitford to get back ahead of Stoffmill.
Sebastian Brunier pulls into the pit lane. His car looking very damaged. And I assume that is going to be a retirement. And indeed it is.
My God, still behind Dalton a bit, but not really closing the gap that quickly anymore. Somewhat has tad calmed down, really. And the ultra close fight as Sebastian has, I believe, retired after that last incident.
Yeah, he did.
Still got 6 minutes to go, and more and more late. This will be the final running order. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, I've seen it change very quickly.
More gaps between people right now, even people who were closer together earlier. As we now have just 6 minutes left in the race, so we're in the last few laps.
Let's have someone else possibly retire.
I think we have lost someone. Marcus Lawrence.
He disconnected. No way, no.
He's disconnected.
No.
That is a real shame.
What she does mean that fight for the championship is over. Some regards.
Yep, and that should be the championship for Mike Stoffmill. Oh, someone's just gone off the road. I think it was a back marker though. Alan Wolf is driving out with a very damaged car. Something happened to him. And indeed, he is driving into the pit lane and is going on board with him. The steering is all sorts of wrong. So, yeah, that car is undrivable at this point. And it looks like that is going to be a retirement. So we only have about 2 minutes left in the race now. Brian Molson is about to start another lap. So looks like it's going to be one more lap after this one.
Possibly. It looks to be that way indeed with current pace.
Yes. And then Wolf has gotten back onto the track, so they managed to fix that car remarkably quickly. Just replaced the entire steering rack in like a minute.
As you do.
Sure.
So it'll be one more lap now.
Yep, Ryan Molson just heading around the final corner. So he will be starting the final lap.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
Down Craner curve for the last time.
Yep. Not really much going on throughout the rest of the field. Looks like, unless someone makes a mistake, and they will be finishing in the current order.
Also heading towards the final chicane now as the car in the background there, that's in the gravel.
Oh, Scott Sovic has spun around at the final corner. Doesn't seem to have lost any positions out of that though.
One more corner now to go for Mawson, as he will now cross the line to take his first victory of the season. As there's McLaren pulling over the side there, as he will take the checkered flag.
The leader has finished the race.
Mawson will win Donington in the quite tricky conditions. Next car across the line will be Thomas Olsen from the looks of things, as he managed to extend his gap to Whitford.
Yep, so Olsen finishes second and Whitford in third, then followed by Mike Stoffmill in P4, although he will presumably win the championship. Vernon Grant Smith will be finishing next as he goes around the final corner now.
I just realized
And
something.
he will finish in P5.
The checkered flag person is waving a blue flag.
Huh.
Every time a car comes to the line, it's a blue flag.
So John Dalton, Robert Nygaard and Michael Stasif has also finished now. Thomas Jansen will finish in P9 in his only race this season. Correctly, on my screen he's waving a yellow flag. And on yours he's waving a blue flag. So that's interesting.
Blue flag, blue flag.
Scott Sovic finishes P11 and that is everyone finished.
Yep, so Mawson wins the final round. Quite up and down season for him. Olsen, P2 and Mark Whitford round off your podium spots. Stuff for P4, which means he will win the championship with Marcus's disconnect. We don't know what really happened there. The server doesn't really give any information about that, unfortunately, so... Yeah, but overall, yeah, that's quite a close season, really, despite some of the issues we had. Quite, Not quite the interesting race we wanted, but I think that's all what happens in this wet track. Anything you'd like to add, Owen?
Yeah, it's been quite a good season overall. Plenty of enjoyable races, and so if you enjoyed them too, we would really appreciate if you could click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to catch our upcoming races. Although we don't know what they are yet, since this is the end of the season and we haven't planned a new season yet, but I'm sure we will do so very soon.
Yep, and everyone did enjoy the broadcast we've done over the last 6 rounds. And yeah, until next time, which I hope will be in the future, stay safe.
Goodbye.